We are so back. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Personal Opinion Podcast. It's Lauryn and Whitney.
It's Whitney and Lauren.
And we are here today to talk about something that is quite interesting, and everybody goes through it to a certain degree.
And it's very near and dear to my heart.
Yeah. Amen.
Let's open this up by saying that today has just been such a bleh.
Yeah.
And the word that I used when I was talking about my day with Lauren, because, we just have our little daily updates. But I was like, today has just felt mundane. Even work was a little bit busy, but it wasn't I don't know. I just feel like I've been going through the motions all day.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we go through that, I don't know. I'm not going to speak for them, but everyone goes through that at some point in their life.
Absolutely.
Where they're just kind of coasting, even if it's just for a day. Because I haven't felt like that a lot lately. Who's calling me? Oh, my sister.
I feel like, go ahead.
Sorry, no. My sister doesn't ever really call me, so I'm making sure that she's okay.
Sure.
Oh, she's on the move. Where is she going?
Yeah, it's a movie. Checking people's locations is a movie.
I'm just watching all my Sims, catching up on them.
Well, what I was going to say is, one, if you're having a great day and you're listening to this, don't, make your day blah. Now, that's not our intention of talking about this. But we do know that human nature, I feel like sometimes you just wake up and you just are unmotivated, or you're not as giddy up and go as some other days. You know?
I think it's interesting because I'm also a person that thrives on routine.
Me too.
But even then, sometimes I have to switch up the routine to get out of that feeling. So I don't know why, today has been different.
I think that a lot of it, for me, comes from a place of, if I'm on a good routine, I, start to overthink it. I'm like, oh, I'm on a really good routine. Everything's going good, but I'm almost, complacent. I'm almost is there anything more I could be doing? Or is there anything that I could be, doing better that I'm missing out on? Or am I really going down the right path because I haven't changed my routine in 2 months?
Yeah.
You almost get complacent, and I think we, as former athletes, are taught to not be complacent, not to fall in the realm of comfortability. But I think, once you have that good routine, I'm the biggest routine girl. If you throw me off my routine, I will need some seconds to process because I struggle with that. But I think that that's what it stems with your body almost is I get complacent. I've been doing this for so long.
I'm doing the same thing every day.
Yeah.
But it's nice because I don't know. It's that balance between, okay, this is my routine. It's my everyday. But also I have what I know is going to happen. Again, kind of back to last episode, it's not scary because it's the same.
Yeah.
I don't have to push myself.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we get over that? How do we battle that?
I mean, it's just going through one thing at a time of okay, if you're going in your routine and where the first thing you do in your routine every day is you wake up and you go to the gym, right? And some day, today, guilty. I set my alarm for the gym. I even got up. And I went to the restroom and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to the gym. So I was awake and I was ready to go. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back to sleep for 2 more hours. And that's what I did. So, I mean, I also think it's not a bad thing to have blah days, and it's not a bad thing to rest, and it's not a bad thing if you want to take one day to reset and really go over what we talked about episode ago or 2 episodes ago about your why.
Yeah.
Kind of reverting, you have a rest day, you kind of think of okay, this is why I have this routine. This is why I do this. So oh, I woke up, didn't want to go to the gym this morning. Okay. Well, today I'm okay, so why do I go to the gym? I'm reminding myself.
Yeah.
So then tomorrow I can wake up and be remind myself of my why, and then I can get back on my routine motivated and ready to do it.
I will say, though, one of the things that's dangerous for me is if I take a rest day,
You take another one.
I take
and
another
then another one.
And another one. And I just kind of let it snowball from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
I saw this. Okay, I was talking to you about this. I saw this TikTok of this guy, and he like spilled a little bit of water while he was cooking or whatever, and then he just picked up the whole cup and like dumped it. And I related that back to, or he, I guess, was relating it back to, like, if you miss one day, don't be like, oh, well, now I'm screwed. Like, now I'm going to pour this entire cup of water out. No, your rest day is fine, but don't get stuck there.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to take that day to reset and then get back at it.
Yeah. And I think, like, for me, one of the best things is, like, rest days feel the best when you know you need them.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Like, rest days feel like when you've been doing really good on your routine, you've been working out, you've been eating healthy, you've been working really hard on whatever your occupation may be, and then you're like, ooh, a rest day would be really good for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you stack on 1, 2, 3, 4 rest days. Well, now your rest days feel like you're being lazy and you're not doing what's right for yourself, right? So, like, that's where you don't want to fall into stacking rest days on top of each other, or because then it starts becoming the laziness and it starts becoming the backward steps instead of the forwards ones. So, like, you always want to take one day, and then, like, I think I read this somewhere of, if you mess up or you fail, right? You fail on doing your routine. You miss a day on 75 hard. You eat one bad cheat meal. You get one F on an assignment. So do not the last thing you want to do is let those stack up.
Yes.
It's just like brick by brick. You know that saying, like, brick by brick, day by day. The last thing you want to do is stack up negative days on top of each other. And I'm not saying that one rest day is a negative day, but they can start to become negative if you keep stacking and stacking and stacking. And now you're basically
done
stacking a ladder going downwards instead of up.
I completely agree.
Yeah. So I think, like, the biggest thing you can do is sit back. You can have your rest day, but your rest day feels great when you know you need it. Go ahead.
I'm gonna take it one step further and say that requires a lot of introspection. So
elaborate.
How are you gonna know you need a rest day unless you're, like, actually tuned into your emotions, how you're feeling, what your body is telling you, like, recognizing the burnout or tiredness or whatever it is. Like, that's step one.
Yeah.
In all of that. I had to do that whenever I got here. Lauren and I were talking, and I was like, I need to take a second. Like, I need to gather my thoughts. I need to, like, check in with myself, see what's going on before we can take another step. Because you need that sometimes. Of being able to be like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
Why do I feel this way? And what can I do? If I do need a rest day, what am I going to do in that rest day that's going to, like, get me prepared? Because for me, if I'm going to take a rest day, and I'm just sitting on my butt doing nothing, like watching TV, eating crap all day, it's not going to be beneficial for me. Like, my rest day still has to be doing something or setting myself up so that following day where I'm back to the grind is actually beneficial. And I don't feel like I just wasted an entire day.
Yeah. And I think, like, the measurement that you're saying is if you know yourself best, so this is obviously pointing towards a lot more of adults, but, like, if you know, when you know yourself best, you know when you start to get overwhelmed. You know if you're a gym body, you know when your body is starting to get too sore. You know, like, to a certain point, you're like, you know what? A day where I sit and do nothing would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, you don't want, if you sit around and eat crap and, you know, you just do nothing, then it kind of takes you towards the blah. Like, it takes you towards that. But, like, if you're doing nothing and then you go outside and you still take a walk to kind of get out of the house, and then you come back and then you still, you know, you get back to watching your movie, whichever. Like, and then planning for the next day, like, can be the best. I almost pinpoint it back to kind of what we talked about active waiting. Yeah. It's like active resting. It's like, what are you doing to prepare yourself while resting? Like, you know, keeping your brain understimulated and not, you know, you don't, whether that looks like for you, it might be looking like going and hanging out with friends to where you are kind of taking an escape from everything that you've done. But for me, it's sitting in my house and my own space.
Yeah.
Basically is what I mean. So I mean, whatever that may look like for you, like still try to get out and do something, and even if it's for 5 minutes, go sit outside and read or lay out at the pool if it's hot. It's not here, but
What would you say to the people who maybe they've got 2 or 3 jobs, or they're a student athlete and their coach decides when their rest days are? What would you say to them of like, I can't take the time, but I still need that reset?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do when you feel so overwhelmed or so busy or everything feels mundane? Burnout.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is. Burnout.
Absolutely.
How do you snap yourself out of that?
I really think the importance of finding pockets. So if you do not have the capabilities of, for instance, you can't have a rest day from being a mom. You have kids.
Right.
Like you can't really have a rest day from your significant other if you live together. So like find pockets where, like, even if you're at work and you're overstimulated, go to the bathroom for 5 minutes. Seriously, go to the bathroom for 5 minutes, take yourself away so that you can breathe, to find that pocket that you can kind of rejuvenate yourself and be like, okay, talk to yourself a little bit. I am going to get through this day. I am, like, I'm going to get here, I'm going to go home, and then I can debrief. Like, when I get there, I just got to get through this last 4 hours at work. So, like, I would say the biggest thing of, like, especially if somebody else is in control, like a coach or, I guess just yourself. Like, if you're the only one that's in control of that, or if somebody else is in control of it, once again, find pockets. Because if you are just overstimulated, going to the bathroom is the best one. Because who's going to stop you from going to the bathroom? Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I mean, it really. And then, like, driving.
Oh my gosh, I love driving.
One of mine is while you're driving to work or while you're driving home from work.
Yes.
Like, if you live with a lot of people in your house, so for instance, I don't live by myself. And so, like, when I'm driving, I don't necessarily like to talk on the phone with people. That's not my time to talk to people.
Yeah.
That is my time. Sometimes I drive in silence. Sometimes I don't even listen to music.
That's crazy. Not me.
Yeah, no, I do. Sometimes I drive in silence and I just sit in my own thoughts, because that's my time to breathe and that's my time to kind of sit and be with myself.
Yeah.
So it's just like finding pockets. If you don't have the ability, go ahead, please.
Showers.
Yes.
Showers are my pocket.
Yeah.
Showers and driving. The shower thoughts. I mean, everyone.
Yeah.
That's where you have your most brilliant ideas.
That's where this podcast came about.
Was born.
Yeah.
Born. That's weird.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. But no, like, my showers are my time where, like, I can take as long as I want. Mm-hmm. I can just sit under the hot water.
Yeah.
And I always be cranking music. I got my little speaker in there, Like, the shower concerts are real in my household. But they're just such a good time to, like, debrief the day, wash it all off, like, reset, get ready for whatever the rest of your night looks like. For me, it's kind of later, so it's like, okay, like, I'm getting ready for bed and all that. But yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just wanted to bring that up.
No, that's great, because it looks different for everybody. I mean, for me, like, sometimes, like, showers, yes, absolutely, for me as well. And just, like, even before I'm about to go to sleep, like, I kind of take the 10 to 15 minutes just laying in my bed to either, obviously, sometimes you start scrolling.
That's me.
But
I'm
that's
guilty
me.
of that.
I'm bad. But, like, if you need that second to debrief, you can put your phone down and you can be in silence for however long you need before you go to bed.
Yeah.
Just get all your thoughts out, maybe even write down certain things or plan for the next day, whatever that may be. So I would say, like, if you don't have the ability to take a lot of time to yourself, find different ways where you can, because you can talk to yourself and you can get your thoughts together and nobody else has to be watching you or anything.
Well, and I think there's also a certain mindset that has to come with that, at least for me. Like, if I'm on my way home from work and I'm processing my day and kind of going through it, and I'm like, man, this sucked, this was the worst, like, I hated this, I messed up at this, like, that makes my bleh and my the whole day worse.
Yeah.
So I think being able to differentiate it and be like, okay, let's analyze today. Let's take my emotions out of it for a second and let's just look at the day for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was mundane, right? It was just another day in the grind. But being able to like separate yourself from that and be like, okay, I'm not going to take that into the rest of my day. I'm not going to take it home with me. I'm not going to take that out on my partner. I'm just going to let myself hit this reset. Also, can we talk about telling your partner when you've had a rough day, the first thing whenever you come in, just being like, hi, I love you. I'm so glad to see you.
Yeah.
Today was really rough and I need a minute to like process all of it. And that amount of communication of being able to say like, I don't want my day to affect how I treat you. Yeah. So I'm telling you up front that like, I really had a rough day and I just need a minute to collect myself and collect everything and leave it on the back burner so that the rest of our night together doesn't have to reflect what happened today. Like it can just be ours. Yeah. I think there's so much power in being able to do that. And it gets you both on the same page. They know where you are. I feel so much better just being able to be like, hey, like I had a rough day. Like it gets you on the same page and it lets you guys have that moment of like, I don't want to say complaining, but like just in that struggle together so that you can like leave it behind. Yeah. I think that's so, so powerful.
No, I agree. And I think like reverting back to the burnout portion, it's just like that you're going to have times where you feel like you just cannot mentally and physically do something. Like you're just like mentally drained, physically exhausted, like your brain can just no longer work and you cannot do something. So go ahead.
Here's the thing. You've been there before. Yeah. And you got through it. Yeah. I know that's one of the things that I've had to tell myself, even in like my most recent struggles, is like I've been through worse. Yeah. I've gotten through worse, and I'm able to get through it now. Yeah. And so remind yourself of that, that when you're in that place, it doesn't last forever. Yeah. I think that's one of the hardest things with that mental block is it always feels like it's going to last forever, but it's not.
No, it's true. And I think like, I have a remedy kind of for kind of what I do, but I am a big like motivational video watcher. If I find myself like down in the dumps and like I'm not motivated and I feel like even if I feel like I can't do anything right or I'm just such in a slump, quote unquote, and you know, that kind of thing, I'm like, okay, like what I'm going to watch oh my gosh. Let me finish my sentence first. I'm going to look up like motivational videos and like I literally will listen to a speaker. I've done it on podcasts. I've done it on YouTube. I've done it on wherever you search your videos or talking, whichever it is. But I have done that and I've listened. I'm like, okay, like I have to like almost fuel myself again, like light the flame again. Yeah. But also one thing I love that just gets me fired up are the Rocky movies. Like, come on.
Okay, I can't judge you very much for that because I am the same way.
We listen and we don't judge.
We listen and we don't judge. But mine is Legally Blonde. Okay. Mine, because, yes, I understand. I get it. I feel like everyone has that one movie that just they watch it and they feel so, like, ready to take on the world. Yours are Rocky. Mine's Legally Blonde.
That is what I've done. Like, I will sit and watch those movies, or if you don't have time to do that, I've listened to 10-minute or 5-minute motivational videos of like why you should get up and why you should go do what you're doing.
Are you on the side of TikTok that's like, good morning, you, and then they like go into this whole,
sometimes.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm also on the side of like, good morning, let me start your day off with a prayer. And then they,
precious.
I know. So then like I hear a prayer sometimes.
I like that.
Yeah. Are you on that side of TikTok?
No, I'm not. I'm on the good morning, you fat piece of sunshine. It's time to get up and conquer today. And honestly, I'm not even joking when I say I love them. I listen to that and I'm like, you know what? I am a ray of sunshine today. I love them.
I'm going to degrade you so you can be motivated.
Whoa. Yeah.
You said you fat piece of sunshine.
That's a
cracked me.
compliment.
That's true. That's true.
Piece of sunshine.
That's not where my brain went at first, but yeah.
Sorry. But yeah, it's like, don't let anyone talk negatively to you today because you're this amazing boss and you can do anything you put your mind to. And I love those videos and I stand by those videos.
Yeah. I love that. Smack a smile on your face and get up and go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go conquer today.
Yes.
And I do. And I do.
And you know what I do? That. That's exactly what I do. Oh, man.
Where were we?
Burnout.
Yeah. I think one of the most important things is being able to recognize the burnout.
Yeah,
I mean, it can show in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And being able to know yourself and know, like, that, because it also might come in seasons, right?
Yeah.
Mine is
seasonal.
always in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
Always in the winter. Where I don't get enough vitamin D and I'm not outside enough and
Take your vitamin D.
Yes, please. I need to. I didn't do that today.
I did.
Wow.
Oh, wow. There's
Maybe
a
that's why.
Putting the pieces together.
But yes, being able to know yourself well enough to recognize those seasons and those patterns. And then also something really, if you're not there, put together a game plan for whenever you are there.
Yeah.
Because I think thinking forward and thinking ahead and planning and knowing what you're going to do when that happens and having that plan set in place is huge and powerful for me.
Yeah.
I haven't done it today, and I need to. But take my advice, even though I won't.
Yeah, no, I feel that. And like you said earlier, like majority of the people have been there before.
Yeah.
Like you have had those days where like, you know what, I just can't get up. Well, I have 2 kids who need to go where they need to go.
Yeah.
So I don't have time for that. But like, even if you have a spouse or you have a significant other or a friend or a roommate or you live with your parents like me and you have a brother or a sibling and, everybody's in your space and everybody takes up a lot of energy and you just don't feel like your cup is being filled up. You need to find that source. Like you said, like you need to have a plan. Find that source that allows you to rejuvenate and have that cup that you can continue to pour into others in.
I also know people, though.
Okay. I'm glad you know people.
Okay, thank you. Who rely on others to get them out of that space.
Yeah.
I will say my friendships and my relationships, especially like with my mom and my sister, those do fill my cup tremendously. So when I'm feeling that way, they are sometimes the first ones that I reach out to. Like you're one of the first ones that I reach out to. Also, didn't you text us you texted us not long ago and you were like, guys, I'm just feeling really bleh. And like, am I wrong?
No.
Yeah.
No, I definitely just got I'm slowly, that's another thing.
It's a process.
It is a process.
It's a process.
And I've been slowly getting out of my blah era.
Yes. But I will say it's okay to reach out to the people that you need. Like, let them know where you are so that they can check up on you and like have that, not accountability, but that support system. But I would hate for you to rely on others to get you out of that space when you have everything that you need to get you out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, like I said, that's up to you, like what your source looks like, and once again, you don't ever want to depend your emotions and your feelings on other people.
Amen.
You definitely don't want to do that. And so it's like I said, like I texted you guys that, letting you guys know. Yeah. And if you guys have, something to say back or some encouragement, because, when you text your friends, the majority of them know you. They know how you work. Yeah. They know what you complain about. They know like certain things about yourself.
And they sometimes know what you need to get you out of it. Whether it's that like sweet comfort or if it's like the, hey, snap out of it.
Yeah. And so I think like, whatever that looks like, don't always depend on people, but it's okay to let them know because they can feed that positivity back into you while you are taking the time by yourself to find that within yourself as well.
It's a balance. It's a balance
Yeah.
between I need the people around me to know where I'm at.
Yeah.
So that like we have that communication line and they can check up on me. But also I'm not going to depend on them to fix my situation.
Right. Never. Remember that.
Love.
So, yeah. So if you have close friends, of course.
Ooh, I saw a sticker on a car yesterday that said check
still.
on your friends.
You didn't check on me yesterday. It's fine.
I was with Ash.
Yeah,
And I pointed at it and I said, Ashley, check on your friends.
You still didn't text
And
me.
then I asked her how she was.
Oh. Didn't care about me.
How are you
This isn't
doing?
about me.
How are you doing?
Me. You didn't check up on me. Oh, wait. This isn't about me. Like I said, I'm still getting out of my blah era.
Yeah.
I think like I've been what?
What are you doing right now to help yourself get out of that?
I think a big part of me used in a way that the new year to turn the chapter to allow, and I don't even know, like sometimes you just don't know where the blah comes from.
Yeah.
You have no idea. Like I didn't feel like I was burnt out. I didn't feel like I was overstimulated. I think that I was also keeping myself busy to the point. Thought somebody banged on the window. Like a bird hit the window or something. Yeah.
A bird?
What?
Okay, whatever.
Okay. I was in my blah era. What was I saying?
How are you getting out of it?
Oh. I think the biggest thing for me is like I self-consciously like keep myself busy. And so I almost have to like check myself out of, okay, like what is actually benefiting me and what am I putting my energy towards?
Yeah.
Because whatever you're putting your energy towards is a big statement about like what you care about, of course,
100%.
and your priorities
Yes.
and all of that. But also, let me just say, the number one priority is yourself. Do not ever get that mixed up. Don't feel bad for taking care of yourself first, because that is something that like, oh, I just don't have time. Like I'm always tending to this person and talking to this person, and I have to go do my job and I have to go do this and do that and continuously pour into other people. But the number one thing that I just feel like some people lack is they have to take care of themselves first. And I think like for me, it is an act of selfishness, but also like you're not living with anybody else 24/7 besides your own mind in yourself. So if you're not confident in yourself, if you're not proud of yourself, if you're not supporting yourself, then nobody else is going to do that for you.
Yeah. And I think it looks different for everyone. Like taking care of yourself and those like self-care things don't have to be, oh, I'm buying myself a Louis bag or I'm going to get this really expensive massage. It can be as simple as taking a bubble bath for 30 minutes or just anything. Yeah. And I think self-care also, for me, like self-care is kind of a chore. So like cleaning my room is one of my biggest self-cares, or like cleaning up my space, getting the kitchen all clean, because that's going to make me feel 100 times better. Yeah. Yes, it's a chore and it takes time out of my day, but I know that I'm going to feel better afterwards.
No, absolutely. And I think like that's something that I've been doing is I've been trying to keep my room cleaner, because I feel like cleaner room, cleaner mind. Like you just kind of feel cleaner. You just kind of feel more put together, I should say. Like make your bed. Whitney's bed is made, by the way.
It was.
I laid in it earlier.
It hasn't been made for a few days, but I made it as soon as I got home.
You just feel more put together and more neat and more cleanliness.
Close to godliness. Right? Isn't that the phrase? Cleanliness is close to godliness?
Oh, maybe.
Next.
I don't know.
Beside? Not beside. It's not beside. Cleanliness is, yes. Anyways, continue with what you were saying.
Anyways, you just feel better when things around you are put together and done and all that. So try that if you're not a very clean person. Maybe try being clean.
Clean up.
Clean up.
If you're not clean, just clean.
If your parents have you doing chores, do them.
Yeah. And I completely,
Yeah.
What?
Who?
Are you going to ask me what I'm doing?
Oh, what? Oh, hold on. So, Whitney, what are you doing in your life to take care of yourself?
That's a great question. I feel like I'm a more emotional person than you are.
Oh,
Would you agree with that?
maybe?
I think I lean into my emotions more. I'm not a big solver. Like, I don't have to solve things. I just need to know what's happening.
Okay.
So, like, for me, it's the knob right here. This one?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, sorry. No, the other one.
This one.
Yeah, that one.
No, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
For me, it's not. What was I saying?
You lean into your emotions more than
my
I do.
emotions more.
Yeah.
If I'm struggling, I don't need to know how to get out of it. I just need to know that I'm there.
Okay.
Because I'm such a person that can be like, oh, I'm really struggling, and like cry for a minute and a half and then be like, I feel so much better.
Okay.
Like, that's my big. So like before this, just being able to acknowledge that I was feeling blah about my day, like that immediately made me feel better.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why, but that's kind of what I do. I just have to take stock of what's going on.
Yeah.
Being able to recognize something for what it is immediately makes me feel better.
I feel like we're definitely different in that because I always want to solve. Like I am always like, okay, well, what can I do to make it better? Like, or what's the solution? I'm a solution person.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling like this. I don't really care how I got there, but what am I going to do to get out of it?
I think I'm the opposite, and I think part of that is from my mom, because growing up, anytime I would tell her my problems, she would give me the solution, or she would give me all of these ways to solve it. And we got to a point, I was in college, and I think she had listened to some like TED Talk or podcast or something, or I listened to it and I sent it to her, and I was like, this is so powerful. And it was someone saying something like, they don't want you to solve their problems. They just want to be heard. And so now, anytime I go to my mom with anything, she's like, okay, do you want me to solve this? Or, or do you just want me to hear you? And I was like, I just want to be heard.
Let me tell you that. So since I am a solver myself, sometimes I tell people stuff and they try to give me advice. I'm like, oh,
I don't need that.
I wasn't trying to get advice.
No.
Like, it's almost like, that sounds terrible, but I'm just like, sometimes I just need you to be like, oh, okay. And what are you going to do about it? Like, you might ask me what I'm going to do about it because I want to solve it.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be the problem solver. And so, like, I've, like, in previous relationships, like, I am always, not always, but, like, sometimes the one to give advice. But then, like, it's like when somebody's trying to give me advice, I'm like, oh,
I don't need that.
I wasn't saying that for that. Like, I wasn't needing that.
Did I ask you to solve this for me? No.
I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
And in the back of your mind, you're like,
no, I don't.
F that.
Yeah, I'm not listening, but it's fine. So I feel like I don't know why I'm like that. I couldn't really pinpoint something like that, but I'm just a how do we move on now kind of person rather than, which if I'm in a rut, like obviously I'm going to be like, okay, what actually got me into this so I don't get into it again? Yeah. But majority of the time I'm like, okay, but how do I get out of it? I can't sit here and sulk. Like how can I get out of it and learn and be better moving forward? So
now we know something about each other. We learned. We learned more about the power of friendship.
We listened and we learned. Mic check.
Oh my gosh. Anything else we want to share with the people?
I think that's all for me.
If you're in a rut, that's okay. Sorry, I asked you a question and then I answered it.
That's completely fine. Like, do not feel like it's a problem.
It doesn't last forever.
Yeah.
It happens to everyone. You've probably been there before. You know how to get out of it. And can we talk about the fact sometimes it just takes time?
Yeah.
Like, I know there have been some volleyball seasons where I'm just in this grind mode and it feels like it's going to last forever and I don't know what to do about it. And it really is just staying present, acknowledging, like back when I played, acknowledging that it wasn't going to last forever. Surprise, it didn't last forever. I'm done now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But acknowledging, finding things to be grateful for, even in the suck, which sounds a lot easier than it is. But I've practiced that so much that now it kind of comes naturally.
Yeah.
And then acknowledging that sometimes it's just going to take like a turn of the weather, or it's just going to take that one day to flip.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Active waiting, right?
Yeah.
Waiting for that time where you're not stuck in that routine or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And acknowledging and knowing it might not feel like it in here. I'm pointing at my heart if you can't see me.
Yeah.
It might not feel like it in your heart that you're going to be okay, but you have to acknowledge in your brain that you're going to be okay and you're going to get through it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't feel that way, you still need to know.
Yeah. Well, it's also just like that saying of this too shall pass.
Yes.
Like it's just about, it's almost like, okay, you are almost just trying to get through.
There are still things that you can do to set yourself up. It's not just a sit and wait, oh, poor me.
Yeah.
Like, I just have to wait for other things to happen and then I'll be okay.
Yeah.
There are still things that you can do to take care of yourself and get yourself through that.
Mm-hmm.
But, yes, acknowledging that it's all going to be okay.
Absolutely.
Everything's going to be fine.
And you're going to make it through, I promise.
I'm preaching to myself right now.
Me too. This whole conversation was for those who can relate to us, but also like the stage, we've been in there. We've been in there multiple times. Yeah. So anyways, you're not alone in that. You're never alone.
You're not
And
alone.
if you ever feel like you need to talk to somebody about it, please do that. Because
talk to your therapist. DM us.
DM us.
If you know us and you have our numbers, text us.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you need someone to be there for you, I'll be there for you. Anyways,
okay.
It's all going to be okay.
Yep. We're good. We're solid.
You're not broken. This doesn't last forever. You're going to get through it.
Amen. All right.
Yeah.
Good?
I think we're great.
Okay. Well, you guys know where to find us.
I was about to say that.
You know where to find us. Podcast.personalopinion on TikTok and Instagram.
That's mine. And Facebook and YouTube, Personal Opinion Podcast.
Yes. Great job.
We
Follow
switched.
us, subscribe. We did.
Happy Monday.
Happy day of the week, whatever you're listening. But we'll see you guys next time.